Hello everyone and welcome back to another epic Jayboss mod review. In today's mod review, we will be reviewing the Iron Spells and Spellbooks mod. Okay? Don't forget to subscribe for more epic mod reviews like this one. Now let's hop in. So the first thing that you'll notice about the mod, and the thing that most people care about, is the armor. Now, there are 4 unique sets in this mod, and then I believe a few other unique sets that correspond to the different schools of spells, which is something that we will talk about later. The first one being the Wandering Magician set. Okay? Now, this one provides plus 25 max mana for each piece, is providing an extra 100% mana. It is crafted using leather armor and arcane essence. The next set being the Scarecrow set, which, as cool as it looks, is crafted in a really weird way. It's pretty much an advanced form of the Wandering Magician armor, providing an extra 75 per piece instead of 25. But the helmet here requires arcane cloth, carved pumpkin. Coat requires arcane cloth, hay bales, and leather. Pants, the same kind of stuff. And then the boots, just hay bales and arcane cloth. The next set was actually just added a few days ago. This is the Wizard set. This is what is required to craft all the other sets of armor in the mod, barring those first 2 and the one that I am about to talk about next. It is crafted using arcane cloth only, but it provides an extra 125 mana per piece and plus 5% power to all of your spells. Doesn't matter what class. And yes, it is dyeable. And for those of you that don't like pointy hats, it even comes with a dyeable hood. The next set of armor here is actually a mishmash of different pieces. These are the 3 remaining pieces of armor in the mod. They do not belong to a specific school of spells or any kind of magic at all. They might have magical effects, but they don't belong to anything in particular. The first one being the Tarnished Crown. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I craft this? Well, you don't. You get this by killing a necromancer, and he only has, I think, a 0.75% chance to drop one. That's 0.75, not 75.0. So it's pretty hard to get these, but they can be imbued with 1 spell. They add 150 mana, plus 25% mana regeneration speed, but they lower your attack damage. So your swords won't be as powerful, but your spells will be better. Ooh, another new addition to the mod here from one of the later updates. This is the Lightbringer chestplate. This is crazy. You get this in the new Citadel structure, or you can craft it using Mithril, Priest Robes, Divine Soul Shard. Okay, well basically, it has 8 armor, 4 armor toughness, so it's like netherite armor. 40% knockback resistance, again like netherite armor. 150 max mana and 10% spell power. Can be imbued with 1 spell. Next up, the Boots of Speed. 3 armor, plus 150 mana, 60 casting movement speed, 10% spell power, and 25 regular speed. Here's what walking without them is like. Here's what walking with them is like. And here's what sprinting with them is like. Whoa, it's like I have a beacon on. Now there are, of course, other sets of armor, and this mod does not disappoint. We have the Pyromancer's armor for fire spells, Electromancers for electric spells, the Archevoker costume for evocation spells, the Cultist costume for blood spells, the Cryomancer for frost spells, Shadow Walker for ender spells, Plague Doctor for nature spells, and the Priest Robes for holy spells. All of which are crafted in the smithing table using wizard robes and their respective runes. And finally, the last, but definitely the coolest armor in the mod, and the by far least disappointing, the Netherite Battle Mage robes, which thanks to the most recent update are now finally dyeable. These are crafted in a smithing table with a Netherite ingot and a Netherite upgrade. They have the same stats as wizard robes, but with +3 armor toughness. They still do add 125 mana and 5 spell power. So they're like wizard robes, but with the armor toughness and knockback resistance of netherite. Moving on, next we have the weapons. Starting with Mage Hunter, which gives you 15% spell resistance and is about the same as a diamond sword. It cannot be crafted, but instead is rarely dropped by a Vindicator on the second floor of the Archevoker Fort, which I have just conquered in my modded survival series. Next up, Spellbreaker. It has a spell pre-imbued on it, which is Counterspell. Does 10 attack damage, 1.8 attack speed, 15% spell cooldown reduction. And it has Counterspell on it, which we will go over spells later. But a brief demonstration on how they work is, let's say my opponent casts a shield. I can then use this to cast Counterspell. Just like that, that shield, which is essentially a wall that I cannot get past, is now gone. Next up, the Amethyst Rapier, which has an imbued spell of Echoing Strikes, level 5, so it does a lot of damage. But it also does the same damage as about, believe it or not, it does the same damage as about a netherite sword, with less attack speed than a diamond axe. Next up, another new addition to the mod in the most recent update, the Boreal Blade. This one is crafted using ice venom, mithril, ice, and weapon parts, which are made with arcane ingots and more mithril. Has an imbued spell of frostbite. And does 16 attack damage. The netherite axe, which is the highest damage weapon in the base game, does 10. This does 16. Next up, the Decrepit Flamberge. This is found on ancient knights that you revive in the nether at an ancient battleground. It does 11 attack damage, still higher than netherite axe, but gives you +4 armor points, which in my opinion is really, really good for counterbalancing the problems of less armor as a mage. Like, your robes can't give you that much armor, so this is a good counterpoint. Because all you have to do is hold it to get the plus armor effect. Oh, and there's a special variant of it that you can get inside of the Citadel structure in the nether that has the same stats. It just has this, what some people might think is a little bit of a cooler color, it's like a bronzish color, gold maybe. It's not different, like, at all. Next up, the Decrepit Scythe and its legendary variant, which is also found in the Citadel structure. It has 11 attack damage. It's legendary 13. This one has an imbued spell, which casts like a fire rune on the ground. Neither of these can be crafted, with the exception of this one, which takes Timeless Slurry, Pyrium Ingot, and the Decrepit Scythe to make. And so does the legendary Flamberge. Now time for the last weapon of this mod, the Auto Loader Crossbow. Automatically loads the next available projectile while in inventory. So I load it up here just once. Boom. Okay, reloads again. Boom. Reloads again. And I'm not holding the mouse, guys, okay? It's doing that on its own. Which, if I wanted to, I could shift-click and it would stop. Next up, the staffs. Starting with the first staff that you are most likely to get, the Greybeard staff, which has 3 attack damage, 1 attack speed. You're not meant to use these as actual weapons, but you're supposed to use them to cast spells. So it has plus 25 mana regeneration speed and plus 10 spell power, which stacks nicely with the plus 5 spell power on your netherite battle mage armor. The next staff that you will probably be getting, because honestly, they're really hard to make, with the exception of the Greybeard staff. I mean, that's really, really easy. Yeah, these are really hard to make. So this one is the Artificer's Cane. It takes 3 crimson planks, and they have to be crimson, 2 gold ingots, 1 amethyst shard. It gives you plus 15% cast time reduction, plus 15% spell cooldown reduction, plus 10% spell power. And if it really matters all that much, it does an extra point of attack damage. Next up, we have 2 kind of magical school-based staffs, starting with the Rod of Lightning, which does 1 more point of attack damage, plus 15% cooldown reduction, but it adds a 15% power increase to any electric spell. This Ice Staff, instead of cooldown reduction, adds in mana regeneration, and instead of lightning, it's ice. And it is crafted using a Frosted Helve and a Permafrost Shard. The Frosted Helve is made using Frozen Bones, Arcane Ingots, and the Permafrost Shard is found in the Wrecked Boat structure. This next staff right here can only be looted in a structure, specifically the Catacombs, by killing the Dead King. And even once you kill the Dead King, he only has, like, a very low chance to drop it. Does 8 attack damage, in case that's important, but adds 15% power to your blood spells, 10% damage to whatever creatures you summon, and plus 5% spell power to all your spells, actually. All of them. Next up, new update stuff, the Pyrium Staff. Honestly, though, guys, I would just have this one for how cool it looks. It has an extra point of attack damage, in case that's important. Plus 15% fire spell power. Plus 10% cast time reduction. Not cast reduction or cast cooldown, cast time. There are some spells that you need to charge before you can fire, and that takes time. This will make it faster. Then plus 5% power to all your other spells. This is crafted using Arcane Cloth, 2 Pyrium Ingots, 1 Netherite Ingot. And of course, who could forget the all-important, super-duper epic Hither Thither Wand. It cannot be crafted. You can only buy it from a wandering trader for like 23 emeralds. And it doesn't have any damage. All it does is it has an imbued spell of the portal spell. Next up, the spell books. Spell books are needed because you can put spells into them and be able to cast them forever. Like, you will always have the ability to cast them. If you do not put them in your spellbook and you choose to cast them, you can only cast them that one time. To put your spellbook on, you can put it in your Curios tab, or if you don't want to use Curios API, you can just hold it in your offhand or in your hand. It still works the same. The first spellbook that you will get, that you can make, is the Flimsy Journal, which is made using 2 copper ingots, 1 string, 6 paper. And it can hold 5 spells. And pretty low level spells too. When you go to put a spell in your spellbook, it ever says this spell is too high for your spellbook, you need to get a new spellbook, or get a lower level spell. Up next we have the Ironbound Tome, which has 6 spell slots and can get pretty much most of your spells. It's the same, but it requires 4 leather instead of none, 2 paper instead of 6, and 3 chains instead of string. Next up we have my favorite book design in this mod, the Apprentice's Spellbook, which in my opinion looks a lot like another magic mod. Just saying. It can hold 8 spells, and this is our first one where we get cool effects. We get plus 50 mana, plus 15% cast time reduction, and it can hold 8 spell slots. It is crafted using 2 hog skins that you get from killing piglins, arcane essence, 3 gold ingots. Next up we have the Enchanted Spellbook, which is made with 2 diamonds, 2 arcane cloth, 4 hog skins, and any enchanted book. I would recommend putting like Multi-Shot or Bane of Arthropods if you're going to make this. Then next up we have the Ancient Codex, which is like the netherite tier. See, it goes copper, iron, gold, diamond, netherite. It can hold 12 spells, has a 20% spell cooldown reduction, plus 200% maximum mana though. And it is crafted. This is the hardest spellbook to get in my opinion. First of all, you have to go to an ancient city and find a ruined book. You then need 2 blood bottles, a bottle of lightning, 4 arcane cloth, and a netherite ingot. This mod will eat all your netherite. Next up, we have all of the spell school kind of spell books. The first one, and by far out of all of these, the easiest one to get, the Blaze Instruction Manual for the Spell School of Fire. It is not crafted. Almost none of these are crafted. There might be a few, but there's almost none. It has 10 spell slots, plus 10 fire spell power, plus 200 max mana. For comparison, the Ancient Codex has 12 and 200 max mana. So it's like the same, but you trade 2 spell slots and cooldown reduction for a skill specialty. Next up we have, another new update item, the Frost Branded Book, which has 12 spell slots and 10% ice spell power. So instead of cooldown reduction, you have ice spell power and the 200 max mana. This one is actually crafted using mithril scrap, ice venom vials, a ruined book, and arcane cloth. One of the very few that can be crafted. Next up we have the hardest one to craft, the Druidic Tome, which is for the Nature Spell School. It is crafted using a Spore Blossom, 2 arcane cloth, glow ink sac, amethyst cluster, honey bottle, and a rotten spellbook, which can only be found in those little tiny rooms with the spawners. That is the only place they can be found. And you lose spell resistance by using it. And it has 8 spell slots. Pretty much, and considering the fact you need Silk Touch to get this, and you gotta kill a glow squid, it's not that worth it. But you do get 10 nature spell power. And it's the same as all the other ones. Next up, we have a hard to get one, but you can go less out of your way to get this one. The Dragon Skin Spellbook has 12 spell slots, 10 Ender spell power, 200 max mana. Just like the Ancient Codex, kind of. It is crafted with 2 of the obsidian of your choice, a ruined book, and 6 dragon skin, which is dropped from the Ender Dragon. In my experience, the Ender Dragon drops 2 to 3. So you might have to fight him maybe 3 or 4 times, but that's not really as far out of the way as getting a ruined spellbook is for the Druidic Tome. Next up, we have one of the coolest looking spellbooks, the Villager Bible. It is for holy spells, and this time, instead of getting your just 10% spell power, you also get 10% cast time reduction. But you don't have 12 spell slots. Now this is not crafted. Instead, what you have to do is go into an Archivoker fort, find the book in the library, then take it to a wandering trader in a cage outside of the building. He'll give you a translated one. Then you have to go to a village, find a priest, and he will translate that into this for you. It's a long-winded process. Sometimes that wandering trader guy is not there. So you have to go to several Archivoker camps. But it is kind of worth it. Next up, we have the Vampiric Spellbook for Blood. And instead of giving you the 10% cast time reduction, gives you 10% spell resistance. It is crafted using a ruined book, 2 arcane ingots, and this stuff, Bloody Vellum, which is made by dipping hog skin in blood. Next up, we have the last skill-related one, but this one is also a unique spellbook, which means it comes with some spells on it that you cannot take out. This is the Grimoire of Evocation. It can only be obtained by slaying the Archivoker, and has as much chance to drop as the Blood Staff from the Dead King. It has 10 spell slots, 3 of which are filled, so 7. 10 evocation spell power, 200 max mana. And you probably have to fight him like several times, which means you got to find him several times, make your way through the dungeon several times. It's very tedious to get this spellbook, but if you're really into the evocation school, this could be worth it. Next up, we have by far one of the hardest to get spellbooks. You really only have one feasible chance to get it. It is the Necronomicon. This is another kind of blood-themed spellbook, but it has different spells. This is dropped from the Dead King, and you only really have, like, I think a 0.13% chance to get it from him. Has 10 spell slots, 4 of which are filled, and if you put Raise Dead in this spellbook, it gives 2 levels to it. And it has 200 max mana. That's all the spellbooks. Now, if you thought all the cool magical stuff ended there, you are officially wrong. Because, okay, this mod adds in a whole assortment of magical rings, necklaces, and charms to help you not only cast your spells, but take them as well. Starting with the silver ring. Pretty unremarkable. You can find it as loot. If you have a mod that adds in silver, you can craft it. But this is not in the default mod alone. It has 25 plus max mana. Next we have the aptly named Ring of Mana, which gives you 100 max mana. And you use 4 arcane ingots and a diamond. Pretty reasonable. It can also be found as loot. Next up, the Ring of Recovery. Not very, very good, but does save you sometimes in a pinch. Has 15 plus cooldown reduction, uses mithril scrap and 4 copper ingots. Next up, we have the Ring of Expediency, which gives you plus 15% cast time reduction for your spells, and despite how it looks, is crafted with an amethyst shard and 1 mithril scrap. Now, for a little bit of the necklaces, we have the Heavy Chain, which gives you plus 15 spell resistance, 4 chains, mithril scrap. Next, we have what in my opinion is the second most useful early game, the Amethyst Resonance Charm, which gives you plus 15% mana regeneration. 4 leather, 1 amethyst shard. Pretty cheap, pretty good. Next up, we have the one that I would just equip and leave on for the rest of your playthrough, the Amulet of Concentration. Long casting spells, so ones that you have to stand there and just cast, become uninterruptible. So normally, if you get punched while you're casting one of these spells, it would break the spell. But with this on, it would not. It's crafted using 3 chains, mithril scrap, and mithril ingot. Next up, we have the Conjurer's Talisman, which gives you plus 15% damage from all your mobs that you summon. So any mob you summon that can do damage will do 15% more. It's crafted using 3 string, mithril scrap, and a skeleton skull. So that's the end of what I would personally like to call all the boring spell trinkets. These should be all the cool ones. And even if those last ones weren't boring, these ones are definitely cooler by comparison. Starting with the Emerald Stone Plate Ring. Slain creatures drop plus 25 experience, mithril scrap, and bottle of enchanting. Next up, we have what I think is the most useless ring, unless you're in a very specific situation, in which case it will save your life. The Poison Ward Ring. Grants poison immunity. You need a nature rune and mithril scrap. The reason why I say this one will only save you in a certain situation, there's only 2 enemies, the Vanilla Witch and this mod's Apothecarist, that really only use the poison spells. It's not nature spells, it's just the poison ones. And poison potions. So you will be immune to poison, but it's not going to be all that useful. Next up, we have the Frost Ward Ring, which grants you immunity to frost. So frost spells, and you guessed it, I'm wearing it right here, powdered snow. Oh yeah. Next up, the Greater Conjurer's Talisman. Now the difference between this one and the normal one is the normal one only gives you plus 15% summon damage. This one gives you summon spells that time out, do not go on cooldown. So basically, if you summon a horse, you can only summon 1 horse. So that spell's timed out, which means it does not go on cooldown. So you can cast it again without having to wait. And also it gives you plus 15% summon damage, crafted with Bloody Vellum, and a just regular arcane rune. Next up, we have the Ring of Expulsion, which is only available on version 1.21, not 0.1, just 1. Passive ability, has 10-second cooldown. When attacked, emit an explosive burst of air. Kind of similar to the wind charge effect. In fact, it's crafted with a wind charge that you get from the breeze in the trial chambers. Now, can you guess what this ring is? That's right. If you guess the Ring of Visibility, you're correct. It allows visible creatures to be seen. Let's put it on and see. Whoa, no way! I totally see these guys. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what this one is supposed to accomplish. I mean, I can normally see creatures anyway. Not entirely sure. Well, wait a minute. Jayboss. If there's a ring of visibility, is there a ring of invisibility? Well, yes, there is. And I've actually had it in my hotbar the whole time. It's even right there now. Right here. Let's put it on and see what happens. Bloop. Nothing happened. I would say reading the fine print, but I can't see it. Oh, okay. You cannot find this ring. You cannot make this ring. It is simply in this mod as a joke. Oh, and in case you were wondering, the ring of visibility takes a spyglass and mithril scrap. Next up, we have the ring of no affinity. Right here. Unattuned. Well, what you can do is you can imbue a spell on this, and it will give +1 level to whatever spell you put on it. So let's say I put Fireball on it. Well, then it would give +1 level to my Fireball spell when I wear the ring. You can find it with no spell or with a random spell on it in dungeon loot and stuff, and you can even craft it using a bucket and mithril scrap. Alright. My modded survival series viewer fans. This is the one you've been waiting for. The Fire Ward ring. This one right here does not seem like it would be as useful as it is. But it is. Okay? Instead of being able to walk through powdered snow and stuff, you can walk through. You can walk right through fire. Oh yeah. And you can even walk through lava. Yeah. I think this would be very cool for like a magic door that you just want other mages to come through. You know, it could be a very cool mob-proof door. That's all I'm saying. Oh, in case you were wondering, guys, yes, I am in survival. And yes, I am wearing the ring, see? Oh, and there are also 2 miscellaneous ones, like this new one here, Signet of the Betrayer. Deal extra damage to creatures based on their maximum mana. Does 10% spell power to the Eldritch Spell School, which will deserve its own section. And then I hope you guys are a big fan of jokes, because this is the Amulet of Teleportation. You put it on, it's gone. It goes over there. You put it on, it's gone. It goes over there. Next up we have the blocks, most of which you can see behind me. Starting with the inscription table. Now what this will do is it adds, you can use your spellbook. Now, great thing about this one is if you have your spellbook in your curios slot, you do not need to take it out. And you can apply it in here, just like so. And now you will see I can cast these spells. So if I want to access my ender chest, boom. If I want to throw a creeper head, boom. Which, those are spells, but the point is you can put them on and you can even take them off of your spellbook. Next up we have the Arcane Anvil. This one is used for all of your spell imbuing and spell casting attribute imbuing. So let's say I have this golden axe, and let's say, oh man, this axe is so special to me, I'm going to bring it everywhere I go. Well, everywhere I go, I might need a horse. Let's put the summon horse spell on here. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's say, oh, I love these netherite battle mage robes so much. Let's put the summon horse spell on here. Well, as soon as I put these on, you'll notice I get a 3rd spell over there. And that is independent of my spellbook. That's how imbuing works. But now I can, boom, summon a horse. Just like that. And this guy is fast. But you can also use it for things other than imbuing spells. So let's say I have this diamond chest plate. I can now use these protection upgrade orbs to put spell resistance on it. And even mana upgrade. So now I have 50 mana and 10 spell resistance. Next up we have what seems to be a very unimportant inconspicuous piece of deep slate. But you're wrong. This is actually very important. This is the Scroll Forge. This, if you can't find a spell, you can make a spell. You put your ink over here. You put your paper over here. And now you need your focus. So a focus is a specific item that correlates to the school spell you want. So let's say I put in a bottle of lightning. Well, now I can make lightning spells, and depending on the level of my ink, which is rare right here, this is like mid-tier level, I can make all of these right here. But let's say I wanted to make a frost spell. Well, I put in my frozen bones, and now I can make these. Well, let's say I want to make an evocation. Well, I put in emerald, I can make these. So blood vial is for blood spells. Blaze rod is for fire spells. Divine pearls are for holy spells. Echo shards are for eldritch spells, which again deserve their own separate section. And ender pearls are for ender spells, my favorite being magic missile. Next, we have some of the more, I guess you would call them, insignificant blocks, like the book stack, which when placed will generate a random pile of books. There are also the Wisewood bookshelf and chisel bookshelf, which while can be crafted in this mod, are mostly for compatibility with another mod called Apotheosis, which I do not use, I probably won't use, I do not recommend. It just makes enchanting more complicated. Although it doesn't add better, it does add in better enchantments. Also the Firefly jar, which can be crafted with glass, lantern, arcane essence, just as firefly particles. This is from before they added the firefly in, but now it uses the updated ones. There's also mithril ore and deep slate mithril ore, which both spawn under Y-38, and are used to get mithril to craft a bunch of stuff. We also have the braziers, which are crafted with campfires and 3 iron nuggets, both soul and regular available. And even a pedestal, which can be stone cut from a stone brick and has cool animations for every item that's on it. This can also be found in the Dead King's Catacombs. Also the nether brick pillar and the armor pile, which spawns at ancient battlegrounds. Now this may be tempting. The only way to get it though is with silk touch, where you can smelt it down into ancient debris. But if you mine it with a regular diamond pick, it will spawn in an ancient knight who's very tough. Oh, and how could I forget about the portal frame? 2 mithril ingots, 4 arcane ingots, 1 ender pearl can be connected with portal spell to make a permanent portal, instead of the not-so-permanent portals that the portal spell usually does. And, of course, how could I forget the Alchemist Cauldron? 4 iron ingots, cauldron, 2 arcane essence, 1 cinder essence, which is dropped from ancient knights. This can be used to extract blood, brew potions, including some special ones. The Oak Skin Elixir, Greater Oak Skin Elixir, Greater Potion of Healing, my favorite, the True Invisibility Elixir, the Evasion Elixir, Fire Ale, and Netherward Tincture. It can also be used to brew regular potions, which I think can be done without either blaze powder or nether wart. I think without blaze powder. Well, guys, that's pretty much it for this mod. See ya! Tee-hee-hee, I'm just kidding, okay? There is still one huge aspect of this mod that we have not covered, and that is the spells. Now, the reason for that being, there are so many spells, it deserves its own creative tab. Each school has, I think, around 90 spells. And, well, except Eldritch, which has, like, maybe 20. But these ones are insane. And then each spell has, like, I think up to 10 levels. Yeah, right here, 10. That's crazy, man. They all come in different rarities and stuff. There's some that will be the same level and literally have no difference except that they might have different stats. So basically, and then like I said, the Eldritch School reserves its own little segment. This is it for part 1 of this mod review. Stay tuned for part 2.